Good evening, gentlemen. We are going to share some brand new install with you, and hopefully some of the things from this week that we are putting in will make us very, very successful in the future. That's the idea. I'm not a big believer in change just for the sake of change, but I'm trying to look at our strengths and maybe not so much strengths, and trying to do things that are going to help us be more successful and keep us out of bad situations. So, with that being said, a lot of us who have been in this offense for more than a year are going to kind of have some unlearning and relearning to do. And the purpose of this is to, again, make us more effective. So when you look at our route families, we're going to basically replace the entire big concept with a quick game concept on the back side. Why are we doing that? Well, two reasons. Number one, if you can think about how many times we've actually thrown a post or a dig so far in a game this season. Number two, from the standpoint of time, I personally find it more advantageous to us to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands more quickly, unless we're going to move the pocket. It just kind of has to do with the ability level of our offense and what we can do. So with that said, we're going to introduce this adjustment. It is going to be a permanent change starting tomorrow when we're on the practice field. So what you have to do is forget and unlearn the big concept that we've been working with for the past few seasons and get this in your mind right now. And obviously when you are unlearning and relearning something new, your learning curve is probably going to be a little bit dull, and that's okay. So we need to make sure that we're concentrating and have some intentionality about this to make it an effective permanent change. So without further ado, we're going to kind of throw a bunch of different things at you. Let's start with a 2x2 set. Right? This happens to be left spread, but it doesn't matter what the 2x2 is. So in the 2x2, previously we would have on the back side of any of these routes, cheap, fire, and the tags out of 10, stick, which was recently installed, and Florida, which has an asterisk by it. We'll get to that some other time. But if we consider these four routes here, you would be running big on the backside. So I would have a book by the inside receiver and the post dig by the outside. So we are done with that. We are not doing that anymore, ever, again, this season. Coach, why all the changes? Why did we change this to a whip and then we made it back to a book and now we're doing this? Again, to make it easier on the quarterback, number one, to make it easier on the lineman, number two. We have the skill guys, okay? What we need to do is get the ball in the skill guys' hands. That's the simple answer. So trying to distribute it as much as possible, make the defense cover the entire horizontal and vertical playing field, and try to get after it a little bit. So here's the idea. On the back side, we are now going to run what we're going to call the SS combination. I don't know how you want to remember it. So all this is a stick and a stop, stick stop, right? We had that as a go tag, but we're now going to change it to the back side of any of these routes. It is no longer big. It is SS for stick stop. Inside receiver runs a 5-yard stick. Outside receiver runs a 5-yard stop. Let me explain the reasoning. So let's say that we have left spread, cheap right called. So obviously the Z is going to run speed out to 5. X is going to run 10-yard curl and sit. Okay. Let's say based on coverage, we get something that maybe we have and are able to take advantage of an opportunity. So for example, let's take prospects defense. 2 high safeties, overhang to one side, corner, and a corner. And as you can see by looking at this, there is a void. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of the thing. It's not letting me do it. There is a void over number 2, right? So let's just kind of look at it. We got cheap called, and maybe they set the overhang. We wanted to call cheap a certain way, and they adjust to it and put the overhang over the Z. and you can see that there's a void here. So the quarterback looks at it and says, wow, I see that number 2 is uncovered. I'm going to catch and throw this stick right now. Awesome. We should have a great play. So that's one reason for it. And then again, this can obviously change based on whatever coverages we get. Different coverages. I don't know why it's not letting me move these pieces around. Oh, here we go. So let's say like this week against Morton, if we get this cover 3 look, this corner's back. I get this guy pressed, maybe, something like this. Single high, like this, and this corner's back. I'm not saying anything's wrong with the cheap combination. I'm just saying, and this is something that we kind of have to drill into the head of the quarterback. Now, look at this space out here. I can throw this stop if I want to. So that's the idea. That's the first idea, is we should never have a bad play, because even if we don't like the cheap combination, the ball can go back here right away if there's something about this that I don't like. All right, so that's definitely in our thought process. Secondly, this goes into, we've been kind of considering what we're going to do with the running back, and I think we have come up with a solution, which this also ties into. So running the stick-stop combination will allow the running back, if he has no blocking responsibility, in other words, he comes to the edge and doesn't pick up anything, he is then going to be able to sit right in the middle of the field as a check down. You know, if that doesn't interfere with anything else, does not interfere with the other 2 routes. So again, running back, when you go with your left-right protection and you're going to block the left edge, if nothing shows, you end up not picking up a blitzing backer or helping the tackle or anything like that, you can come and sit right in the middle, no deeper than 5 yards, you know, hopefully right in the quarterback's line of sight. That way, if he doesn't somehow like this, then he's got a check down here in the middle of the field. All right. Likewise, quarterbacks, if for some reason they cover this, you can always come back and throw the ball at one of these guys' feet. If you read the front side, it's junky, come off of that. I can find one of those guys if they still happen to be open, or throw the ball at the guy's feet. Lastly, with regard to scramble rules, let's say the quarterback happens to, is there going to be a way where I can move here? Let's say the quarterback happens to get flushed out of the pocket this way. Okay, so what would happen is this curl would end up turning and coming back to the sideline and back to the ball. This receiver who ran the speed out would go up the sideline and go deep. You 2 guys would then start working toward the, remember we're talking about 4 corners on this half of the field, short and long. I think it is a little bit easier for the inside guy to be the guy who ends up starting to go deep, and this guy should be the guy who starts working himself across short. That way I've got my 4 corners covered on half of the field. Same would be true the opposite direction. So let's kind of go back and do this again. Let's say the quarterback this time, whoops, one more time. Quarterback happens to get flushed this way. Okay, so this is where the stick-stop combination becomes very effective, in my opinion, for play breakdown. I would convert this into a stop and go. I would convert this into the stick, and then you kind of pivot, start working back to the sideline to help the quarterback out. You guys back here again. Whoever is the closest to the quarterback at the time of the scramble should go deep. So this guy would end up being the deep guy. Speed out, you would do your best to just kind of get back and start working your way into the quarterback's line of sight that direction. So hopefully that makes sense. Rules, one guy deep, one guy short, one guy deep, one guy short. The guy who's closest to the quarterback when he starts to move should go deep, if that makes sense. Okay, and then this obviously is pretty easy, and we can have a pretty big play in certain situations if we happen to get flushed out of the pocket. So hopefully that makes sense to you. And let me undo all this and just kind of come right back to the beginning with all this. So again, this is cheap right, so there is no more big combination on the backside. Just in summary, we're going to run stick, stop in a 2x2. Both guys at 5 yards. What happens if I don't get the ball, coach? So here, first of all, you should expect the ball. Run this route, tear off the line of scrimmage like you're going vertically, sit down at 5. Same thing with you. Sit down at 5. Expect the ball. Show the quarterback your chest and your hands expect the ball. If I don't get it, what do I do? Well, chances are the ball is coming out the other side. If I don't get it, be prepared for the quarterback to scramble. Okay? Be prepared for the quarterback to scramble. Sit here, active feet. All right? He might come back to you if you're open. If a defender happens to collapse on you and you want to kind of skate around him, great. Same thing here. If this guy closes on the stop and you want to kind of skate around him a little bit, good. But you can't move too far because remember, we have the running back for the dump off here in the middle of the field. So I don't want to start running in here. Now we have two guys in the same spot. So if I don't get the ball right away, make sure my chest and my hands are available. Find an open space. Find an open space. The running back is going to come to the middle. All right, worst case scenario. So hopefully that clears things up there. Coach, what do I do if I'm on the backside of trip? So I'm glad you asked. So here, let's just discuss the new route that we put in based on trips. Okay. So normally you would have this post dig by yourself. Solo, it's still SS, okay, but it's not stick stop. Now it's solo slant. Okay, if you can remember that. SS out of trips or any 3x1 means solo slant. So I'm going to run the slant by myself over here. So again, quarterback has some choices. If he likes, for example, here, let's do prospect again. Boom, too high. Boom like this, boom like that. Here, this guy, well, here's the red guy hanging out there, and here's this defender. And I might say to myself, wow, I really like this backside slant. Okay, then take a chance back there. That's fine. You have the ability to do that. Here's the thing. If you're going to throw the backside, it better be 100% completion. Okay, we better not be throwing into traffic here. So the reason you're throwing it is because it is a gift. It is a gimme. I'm taking it right now. They gave it to me. Okay. Cover 3 with a flat defender here. Probably not a great choice, right? So I'm probably going to work the front side combination then. Okay. So this is stick. Let's talk about it. S, you're going to cheat your split in a little bit, kind of like you would for Oklahoma. You're going to run the speed out. Number 1, Y receiver, outside release, go route. It has to be outside. And again, guys, if this corner jumps this, we should be throwing the vertical. So again, every route we run, every receiver should be running as if you are going to catch the ball. Otherwise, what are you doing, right? Z, cheat your split out, a little bit outside the hash in the middle of the field. 5-yard stick, expect the ball. Show your chest and your hands. If you don't get it immediately, pivot and, if you don't get it immediately, pivot and start working outside. Okay, and we can throw it to you in this little window area there because, again, there's possibility that another linebacker is starting to work his way this way, and we want to create separation from that guy. Okay, this would be the stack backer in a 3-stack defense. So, backside, right? Slant. What do I do if I don't get it? Again, I'm going to keep coming through. All right, I'm going to find my way through over or under, whatever it takes. Find space. Sit down in here. Maybe I'm open deep. Okay. Again, my running back is also going to occupy short middle, but he's at about 4 yards. So we back this up. I would kind of continue, working my way across. I could sit down here, maybe. Okay, we got choices. Running back is under 5. Okay, so we can kind of bracket that a little bit. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So again, backside, I am no longer running the post dig. I am running a slant, expecting the ball on my break. If I don't get it, continue through. Continue. Okay, work to a depth at about 10 yards. Find a space to sit down. Hopefully that makes sense. Make life a lot easier for everybody. Okay. So there you have it. Why are we doing this? Again, give the quarterback more comfortable choices. And if we happen to not like the front side, we can come back to the back side with a little bit more confidence, I think. So we're going to have this in tomorrow. We're going to work that crap out of it, and we're going to get good at it. All right. You guys are going to catch a lot of balls, and we're going to have a lot of success. Okay. See you tomorrow. I will have another short video coming out very, very soon about the Ringo Lucky with the tight end sets. All right, South Pride.